Admiral Thomas Reed stared through the viewport at the approaching fleet. Sleek metallic vessels, hundreds of them, glided toward Earth with an elegance that belied their purpose. The Vaxian emissary had promised peace. Earth's leadership had believed them. "They're breaching the outer defense grid," Lieutenant Adams reported, her voice steady despite the impending catastrophe. "Send the message," Reed ordered. His weathered face remained stoic, but his eyes betrayed the weight of what was to come. 3 months earlier, the Vaxians had arrived with offers of technology and alliance. While most of humanity's military leaders urged caution, the civilian governments had been swayed by promises of medical advancements and clean energy. The warning from Earth's defensive coalition had been clear. One violation of trust would trigger Protocol Omega. The Vaxians had smiled with their two perfect faces and agreed readily. "Message sent, sir," Adams confirmed. "All colony worlds have received the authorization codes." Reed nodded. "How long until they reach atmosphere?" 20 minutes, Admiral." Beyond Earth's orbit on Mars Colony, Commander Lisa Morgan received the message. Her face paled as she read the authentication codes. Protocol Omega was no longer theoretical. She entered her command key and spoke clearly into the comms. "This is Mars Command. Protocol Omega confirmed and initiated. God help us all." Similar scenes played out across human settlements throughout the solar system and in the dozen colony worlds beyond. Authorization codes were verified, command keys turned, and humanity's final defense mechanism activated. Back on Earth, the first Vaxian weapons fire lit up the sky over the Pacific. Their betrayal was complete. Not the peaceful cultural exchange they had promised, but an invasion fleet poised to strip Earth of its resources. "Sir, we have confirmation," Adams reported. "All human colonies have acknowledged Protocol Omega. The evacuation ships are launching." Reed watched as the Vaxian vessels descended through Earth's atmosphere. "How many of our people will make it out?" "The evacuation projections show 86% survival rate if the delay tactic works," Adams replied. The delay tactic was a benign term for what was about to happen to Earth. 5 years earlier, when humanity had first detected signals from the Vaxian Empire, they had prepared for the worst while hoping for the best. Beneath the surface of Earth, deep within the planetary crust, they had planted the seeds of their own defense and their home's destruction. The first Vaxian ships touched down near major population centers. Their troops disembarked with weapons ready, finding eerily empty cities. The evacuation had been swift and silent in the hours before their arrival, triggered by early warning systems. In his command center, now relocated to a bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, Reed received reports of Vaxian ground forces spreading across all continents. "Their ground forces are at 40% deployment," Adams noted. "Colony evacuations are at 70% completion." Reed nodded. "Begin the countdown sequence." Throughout Earth's crust, thousands of specially designed devices activated simultaneously. They weren't nuclear weapons. Humanity had long ago learned the limitations of such crude devices. These were something far more devastating: dimensional fissures, designed to create localized tears in spacetime. The Vaxian commander, Telk, noticed the strange energy readings too late. By the time his scientists reported the anomalies, the process was irreversible. "What is happening?" he demanded, watching as the surface of Earth began to shimmer in places, reality itself seeming to fold and distort. His science officer's reply was cut short as the first fissure fully opened, swallowing an entire Vaxian battalion in Melbourne. Similar reports flooded in from across the planet. On the last evacuation ship leaving Earth's orbit, young Mark Jones pressed his face against the viewport, watching his home world begin to fracture. His parents stood behind him, hands on his shoulders. "Will we ever go back?" he asked. His father shook his head. "No, son. Earth gave itself so we could escape." The dimensional fissures spread rapidly, connecting and widening. The Vaxian ships attempted to flee, but the gravitational distortions pulled many back down. Their distress calls echoed across space, warnings to their fleet to stay away from the human homeworld. Admiral Reed and his command staff were among the last to leave, watching on monitors as Earth's sacrifice unfolded. The planet wasn't destroyed in a conventional sense. It was removed from normal space, taking with it the invasion force and any hope the Vaxians had of acquiring its resources. Colony evacuation complete, sir. Adams reported as their ship accelerated away. 91% of our population made it out. Reed nodded, his eyes fixed on the monitors showing Earth's final moments before the fissures completed their work. Humanity will remember, he said quietly, and we will rebuild. In the decades that followed, humanity regrouped around its colony worlds. The loss of Earth became both a solemn memory and a stern warning to any other species contemplating human conquest. The message spread across the galaxy. Humans had given one warning, and when it was ignored, they had sacrificed their own cradle rather than allow it to fall into enemy hands. The Vaxian Empire, having lost a significant portion of their military force in the Earth trap, never again ventured into human space. Other species learned the lesson without requiring demonstration. On New Terra, the largest human colony, a monument stood in the central plaza. It displayed a simple hologram of Earth as it once was, rotating slowly above an inscription. We gave one warning. Earth paid the cost for trust. Never again will we be so merciful. Humanity had lost its home, but in doing so, had earned something perhaps more valuable in the dangerous cosmos, a reputation.